Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome to another episode coming at you live. Well, I'm live from the vacation spot once again. This has been actually a very tranquil place to sit and relax, and I've also been gathering a lot of my thoughts. And so I've had some things come to my mind that I wanted to discuss with you guys, and what better place to sit and do some long form videos and have a discussion on topics that I think not only interest me but should interest you. If you're new to the channel, we appreciate you guys being here. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, help that algorithm, man. We go out of our way to spend time on these videos, and it means a lot to us when you subscribe and show love. So, for those of you who have been here already, you know we appreciate you. We hope you guys are having a tremendous day out there. I know I can tell you out here, it's probably about 72 degrees. It's been sunny. My wife and I have spent the better part of a week in New Hampshire, and it is absolutely breathtaking here. This lake is just unbelievable. We're staying right on the lake, and it's gorgeous. With that being said, today's topic, man, I wanted to discuss with you guys setting up the boilers for efficiency when the heating season begins, and specifically on steam systems. Hydronic systems aren't. There are definitely ways to make them more efficient. That can come down to the piping and how everything's set up and flow controls and all that kind of stuff. But I always find steam systems to be a little bit more tricky, and there are a lot more things that I can do with and play with the size of the fire, especially on our jobs, because you guys have to remember, I do heavier industrial, so we're doing larger BTUs, and with that I get a lot of fully modulating burners. So basically what that means to you, if you're a novice, is we start in a low fire pattern and it drives into a higher fire pattern, which is more BTU content. We can't light the burners in a higher BTU content because it's not safe. You just have way too much air. A lot of times it's even too hard to even light off. So we have this mechanism that lights in a small flame. Once it proves that that flame is in the box, the burner will automatically drive to a higher flame. And same thing, it's got basically like a mini peeper or flame sensor, however you want to say it, is visually seeing the fire at all times. That's the thing that keeps it on. Now I'm in high fire and I'm producing steam. Now, one of the things I see a lot of guys do, and there's a couple things, you've heard me talk about this. First of all, when there's issues in a steam system, I see guys jack up the pressures. Not the answer. It's the worst thing you can do. More pressure is not helpful. You need less pressure. So if you're using less pressure, like 1.5 pounds or 2, and you're having issues heating the building, you need to be looking further into the piping and air venting and all the other things that come with steam. That's not why I'm just having this discussion. I've already done videos talking about efficiency and venting and all that stuff, and all that stuff is important. Again, what I can say about a steam system outside of what I'm discussing in this topic is that there are a lot of variables, and it's like baking a cake. So you have multiple ingredients, and if you're missing one, the cake may still bake, but when you eat it, it ain't gonna taste right? So I feel steam systems are like that. You have to take many different ingredients. There's venting, the insulation on the piping, efficiency in the burner, how many BTUs we're using. Are we using enough? Are we using too much? Are we using too little? The pressure control setups, like I said, not every one of our burners is what's called a full modulating burner. Some of them are just drive to high and have a spring load return, but even then we do our best to install pressure controls and wire them in such a way that when they make the pressure I want, it drives back to low fire automatically. And by doing that, it kind of maintains that pressure of what I want. So that's kind of what I'm getting into with this topic today, is that we're on the verge of heating season once again, which is a whole nother conversation. I can't even believe we're here already. It's like, I know that's my business and I love it, but it is super stressful time of year. And I'd be lying if I didn't say that I kind of look forward to spring and summer when it comes. So I get to enjoy myself a little bit, and the stress levels are a lot lower. But it is our business, and it is what we do. Let's try to move a little bit more so you guys get better lighting. You can see my face. I just don't want to drop the camera in the water. Whatever. You get the point. You don't need to see me perfectly, I guess, to get the topic. So with heating season on the verge of starting, a lot of things I like to do, because it's hard to do it with the preventative maintenance, because I don't want to run the boiler for steam. As heating season starts, I got to go to some of these buildings and we really got to dial them in right. And usually what that means is I will do, it's multifaceted. So we will test low fire BTU input and then combustion analyze it, make sure that it's good, run my burner to high, clock the meter, basically what's my gas input compared to what the burner and the boiler can hold. So I want to be in the vicinity of what I need for that particular piece of equipment. And once I have that dialed in, then I'm going to make sure that my combustion's good on the high fire side, and then we're checking anywhere the parameters in between low and high to make sure we have good clean fire, no carbon monoxide. Once I have all that figured out, I want to run my burner up to high fire and let it make some steam pressure. Now I'm setting my controls. So for us, with modulating controls, you either have what's called an L91B. Honeywell makes these. L91B 1012 is a full mod pressure control. So on the burners that have full modulation, there's resistors inside. As it makes a certain pressure, whatever I set the differentials and stuff to, the burner will slowly go from high fire down to low. Sometimes it'll sit in mid, and then if the pressure drops a little bit, it's going to go back to high fire and maintain this whatever I set it at. So let's say for me, I really like to be at that 2.5, no more than 3 psi pounds of steam pressure in my systems. And so this way it's just doing this beautiful dance between high fire and low, and I'm just staying there. So this way, if the computer that is operating the heating system calls for an hour, that burner runs for that whole hour. I've always found this to be a more efficient way. I don't like having the burner shut off, and then we have pre and post purge. So pre and post purge is just an airflow from the room, pulling it exterior oxygen through the burner, cooling the vessel off. And even though it's a minute or so, I'm still taking my vessel from X. Damn, man, I got a spider web on this thing already. That's crazy. Even though I'm at X at 2.5 pounds, it can bounce back and forth in this very nice way. Now, some of my burners are high-low or just high and off, but I still, like I've told you guys many times, there's always a way for me to put a pressure control in, wire it in such a way that at the very least, if I'm making high fire, and I'm in high fire and I'm making good steam pressure where I want it thing drive back to low fire. Then the trick is, once it's in low fire, if my flame, I've had it many times where the flame is too big, even in low fire now, and the pressure continues to build, and then the burner shuts off. That's the opposite of what we want. So we want a small enough fire that has good combustion, that has good numbers on the combustion analyzer, but at the same time, when it's in that low fire position, the pressure is actually dropping a little bit. I don't want to be, or maintaining. I don't want to be building any pressure in my lower flame, because eventually what's going to happen is I'm going to have short cycling of the burner, and this creates heating issues because I'm dropping pressure in the system and then building it back up and dropping it and building and dropping and building it. When I have it operating the way I want to, it's as if you're going to the store to run in and get something. You leave your car running or you shut it off and let it cool. So we're just maintaining that pressure all the time. That's what I want. So this is the time of year where I typically go into these buildings and dial a lot of this stuff in as we start getting into ramping up heating season. Obviously, I don't want to be running at 2 psi or 2.5 pounds of steam pressure heating up the building when it's 90 degrees out. Should be obvious to a lot of you guys. So now that we're getting into the colder months, as soon as we get into, a heat call or 2 or 3, we know we have a consistent few days, I'm going to run in a couple of these buildings. A lot of the buildings that we have, because we've been doing this so many years, are already dialed in. But there are a handful that we haven't dealt with, or equipment's been changed, or things have been changed. So those buildings I have to make sure I go into, spend that time clocking. It takes a few hours, definitely takes some time. But once that thing's dialed in, you hear me talk a lot about saving my clients money and being on the ball for them and making sure that we're following through on everything we need to do for them. And this is one of those things that is far and above one of the most efficient, fuel-saving things that we do for the customer. Going in, doing all this work, dialing the burners in. Because a lot of people don't do that. A lot of people don't know how to do that. A lot of people don't understand that. It's one of the things that sets us apart from others, in my opinion. We're very knowledgeable on systems, and this is one of those things that I learned a long time ago. I'll get into conversations in another video about reverse acting aquastats and using them in the off seasons like we're in now. But I'm not going to get into that on this video. But that's pretty much what I wanted to cover here, and something I want you guys to be mindful of. Again, everything I teach you guys, or at least perspectives that I give you, are things that you should be able to find inside your own business that you can do that are preventative for the customer, that are going to save them in the long run. Obviously, construction things are a little bit different, but there's so many things that are efficiency related these days, right? Insulation. I'm sure there's some other things. I know even in an electrical panels and upgrading and all those things. So no matter where you go, these things that we talk about can be related across the board. This isn't just plumbing related. Yes, I have a plumbing company. That's what I'm going to discuss most. But I also have a background in construction. So I know that there's variables here within what I'm talking about, but they can be used in your business or whatever it is that you guys do. So once again, we appreciate you guys being here. Again, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, man. Smash the like button. Help that algorithm. Really helps us out. We really do appreciate it. We appreciate you guys being here as usual. Couldn't do it without you. If you have any comments, questions, anything, drop a comment below. You guys will hear me say this, and I'll say it time and time again. We answer every single question, and we really want to get the conversation going. So this is the place, man. Here's our platform. There's nothing special about it. It's me, a camera, you, lake in the background this time around, just chilling out, sharing my thoughts with you guys. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you keep crushing it. I hope you're killing it in your business. Peace.